I mean, I was told by my film professor, there are films and there are movies, and sometimes you've got to know what you're walking into.
Yeah. See, but I come from a time when movies were films.
I remember it was a few years ago now at this point, Martin Scorsese came out speaking against Marvel and comic book films alike, and in his interview that he had, he said, "That's not cinema. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well-made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to another human being." That's what he said about superhero films and Marvel films specifically, and I'm someone who was speaking out against him. I definitely didn't agree with him here. Maybe he hasn't seen all of the MCU, and he doesn't really have to, but, films like Spider-Man 2 from Sam Raimi, or The Dark Knight from Christopher Nolan, those are some of the best films ever made in cinematic history, and a lot of great films are comic book films. Like Infinity War, say what you want, it's one of the best things ever for cinema as a whole. And I definitely do agree that Martin Scorsese is right sometimes. Like in this situation with Superman 3, this is definitely a clear case of this movie not at all being cinema. And I do understand that movies can definitely have a tendency to maybe latch on to you, to where there's movies that aren't that good at all. Like for me, my great example is always Over the Hedge. That's a film that maybe isn't the best of all time, but still, that movie has a special place in my heart for different reasons. Or like Surf's Up as well. May not be that good, but still, I love that movie a lot, and I really do think it's really good. But Superman 3, despite what you think about it, despite your nostalgia, is one of the most disgraceful pieces of media ever for cinema, and for what movies are supposed to be, and what this series of movies is supposed to be. It's a truly disgrace, and I'm definitely saddened to even be recording this right now, but truly, I was hurt and offended by what this film did by just not meeting the standard of what it should be. I'm sorry for the extremely serious opening. My name's Logan. Welcome to the Court of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, where every week we try to dive into something related to movies or shows. Most of the time it's movies. And here on the podcast, we've been going through our Superman series, going through all the Superman films in the order of their release. We did Superman 1, we did Superman 2, and now we're on the iconic and well-known for being very bad Superman 3 from Richard Lester. This movie is definitely interesting, to say the least. And, of course, the reason we're doing this, we're going into the new movie from James Gunn, coming out here not next month, July. It's almost June, not June yet, but still July. The new film's coming out. I couldn't be more excited for it. It's going to be a great film. Definitely. That new trailer looks crazy. And going to this movie, it is my first experience. It is my first experience going through this film. I've never watched any of these movies. I did watch the first one with Christopher Reeve, but besides that, nothing else really. First time watching it, and I'm definitely disappointed if you couldn't tell by my tone of voice. Going into the stats here for this movie, the box office, this film did $80.25 million against a budget of $39 million, which is okay. I'm not sure what that is translated into inflation for 2025, but still, those are some interesting numbers. Rotten Tomatoes, this film has a 29% critic score and 23% audience score. Definitely not where it should be. We do have two different reviews here, one from Roger Ebert, one from a Letterboxd user. And going on to the Roger Ebert website, this review here from Roger Ebert does have a 2.5 out of 4 stars over there. And in his review, he does have a little bit of a blurb here. I'm going to leave the full thing linked down below, but still, this is a very small little insert here from that full review. In a small section of his review, I decided to insert it here because it definitely conveys what I feel about the movie. In this little section, he says that all of this sort of fun and special effects are sometimes very good, but there's no real sense of wonder in this film. That's definitely something that I feel wholeheartedly with this movie. I'll talk about it later, but there's so much fun and cool sequences and effects, but there's no real sense of magic and serious tones that were in the first movie and second film respectively. I do love those first two films for different reasons, but still, this one is not at all what it should be. Going into Letterboxd, we do have a 2.3 out of 5 average. We have one little review here from Vincent Iga, we'll say. It's a very weird name, but I'll link his thing down there below too. He gave this film a 1 out of 5 stars, and in his review, very little one here, he said terrible. That's all I needed to hear. That's perfect. One word to describe this film is terrible. That's all I need to know. Terrible. It's awful. Don't see it. Don't watch it. I shouldn't have, but I had to because we're doing a series on it. That's the only reason I did. I think that might be just better time than ever to just go into this film. I don't have a lot to say. I'm very disappointed. I do have something to maybe explain why things went wrong, if I even can. I don't really know. Maybe the biggest thing that we can start with might be Richard Donner being fired, the OG director from the first two films. Well, technically the first film. Second one, he was, I guess, fired halfway through it, and then they had to bring in someone else to direct it. That person being the one from this movie, who is Richard Lester. He is slated as the director for the second movie, but, it's a complicated thing there. So we do have him here again, returning to, I guess, fully direct a movie. And there's definitely a more grounded and, I say, corny story. Very corny and silly. Slapstick is the word to use. Really a vision for this movie and for this character that really was never supposed to happen. If you go back and watch that first movie, it's extremely serious, and it does what it needs to do without having all the jokes and all the necessary fun that the character can have at times, but still, it's a more serious movie. Looking at, like, the Adam West Batman show, that was something that was slapstick, funny, corny. It's okay to have it there, but Donner had a different vision for what Superman can be. I remember seeing in a video that he was trying to make it like the, comic book Superman stuff and the corniness of it, but also having it be serious and the spectacle of Lawrence of Arabia. His vision for what Superman should be is clear in that first movie. And the second movie, it's not all him, but still you can definitely feel the effect of Donner in that second movie. And for the third one, it's very clear that he had no involvement here at all with this movie, because there's no way that Donner in any universe would make this film in this form, in its final form. He would never do it at all. Maybe the biggest problem of all with this movie is Richard Pryor. Is it his fault? No, I don't think that's Richard Pryor's fault. He is just an actor or comedian, definitely in the top 10 at the very least of comedians of all time. Richard Pryor has had huge influence on comedians today, and we thank him for that wholeheartedly. And Richard Pryor is a guy who probably is definitely a fan of Superman, but he was just someone who was offered a role, given a fat check to do this movie, and obviously if you have like $5-10 million sitting in front of you, you're going to take it. I'm not sure how much he made for the movie, I'm just kind of estimating, but he was definitely made a lot of money for the time, and definitely for today, he was definitely paid a chunk of cash for this film, definitely, absolutely. And maybe they chose him to be in this role because of the whole slapstick and lighthearted sense of the whole thing, making it more maybe family friendly was their idea. I'm not quite sure what their idea was for this movie, but still, that's what they did. Having Richard Pryor being here, it definitely feels like there's two films happening at once here. It feels like there's a Superman film of Clark going back to Smallville and having his reunion and all that stuff, and then also having the evil Superman and that heavy subconscious fight and psychological thing there going on. Then there's just the second part of it is, hey, we pay Richard Pryor like $50 million. He has to have a full sequence all to himself because we gave him a fat check and he's like top billed for this film. So we have to do that. That's the two sides of this movie, which makes it feel so disconnected and not at all cohesive until at the last like 30 minutes. I do like the idea of Clark Kent going back to Smallville, his high school reunion. That may be something that Christopher Reeve definitely had some influence on. There was some rumors that the only reason he would come back is if he could have some say in what the movie was actually going to be about and what it was going to do. And that feels like something that he would do. I like the whole psychological thing, evil Superman, him going back home to his roots, seeing a new love interest. That all could have made for a super cool and very emotional, grounded Superman film. But, instead it feels so separate. Nothing feels like it's a cohesive movie that it makes it very hard to watch. I really don't like it at all. The villain, I also don't like either. I mean, the villain isn't hard to do. it's clear also that the villain for this movie might be Lex Luthor. It feels like it's supposed to be Lex Luthor, but he's not here. Obviously, because Donner was fired, maybe, the actors didn't really like that much, and they didn't really want to come back. We saw that a few years ago, well, a lot of years ago now, when James Gunn was fired from doing Guardians of the Galaxy for like a year. He was fired from it. They didn't have a director at all. The actor, Dave Bautista, he said he's not coming back for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 because James Gunn was fired. That's definitely the same sense here with this movie that, if you fire the director, the actors might not be too happy with that. So he didn't even come back at all. It's clear that the villain here is supposed to be Lex Luthor and, Elon Musk trying to get more money by destroying places and affecting the global market. And Richard Pryor helping him do that is not cool. It's actually very boring. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It feels just so lazy and just dumb. I don't care about it really too much at all. It's really a pain to even talk about it because just how dumb this film really is, just how clear of a cash grab this film is trying to be, and that just feels so distasteful for what this franchise is supposed to be. I watch a lot of films. I try to watch at least one film a day. And my main rule, my number one rule watching films is that you should never turn off a movie early. You should never turn off a movie before it's done. Movies take many months to be completed. There are hundreds of people involved with making films to the point where you should never turn off a movie early or never leave a movie early from a theater. Never, ever do that. If you're reading a book, always finish a book. It took someone years to do that book. The same with the film. It takes a lot of hard work to do that. But this movie was almost the exception. When I was like halfway through the film, I was about to turn it off, but I decided not to. The rule can be broken in certain instances, but this case was almost that instance, but I decided not to and finished the film out despite me regretting it almost immediately. And despite it being very random and weird, I do like Evil Superman. Evil Superman is cool. But then again, almost 5 minutes later, I said, never mind, no, he isn't cool at all. I do like Omni-Man. I like Omni-Man. I like Homelander. Those are all definitely, obviously, very derivative and almost directly inspired by maybe this and other forms of media. But, Evil Superman in this film is a jerk. He's just a jerk, and I don't really like him at all. I like how Evil Superman in Zack Snyder's Superman movies, that was a cool little alternate reality thing, and we never got to see exactly how that fully played out, but I'm kind of a fan of that at times a little bit. I like Omni-Man. Omni-Man's cool. I like Homelander. He's funny and also kind of cool at times also. He's definitely a bad person, but still, he makes up for it sometimes because he's really funny, and I do enjoy that. But here, Evil Superman is a jerk, and he's a loser. I don't like that at all. He's a bully also, which might be the point. I guess I shouldn't like an evil guy who does bad things, but still, that made it bad for me, I guess, to hate this movie, to hate the character a lot. I understand he was under some kind of sickness, but still, that ruined what it should be and what Superman should be in my head. I'm not sure if that's maybe based on a comic. I know there's like the Bizarro Superman, but still, I was not a fan of it at all. I do like the aesthetic. I like him, with the stubble, the 5 o'clock shadow. The suit is also darker a little bit. It's a cool touch. It's a cool effect, but still, overall, I wasn't a fan of it come the end of the movie. It felt so disjointed, and this didn't really work for me that much. And that's really where my notes end for the movie. I mean, this film, it had a pretty also mediocre and dumb and uninteresting third act with him fighting a computer. Maybe their intentions were pure. I mean, like Christopher Reeve is a guy who loves the character a lot. He never would wish anything bad on this world and these characters. But it's like something that I heard in a video. I was watching a video on Andor. I finished Andor a couple weeks ago. Watched the video from Thomas Flight on YouTube. Recommend you go follow him. Thomas Flight isn't my friend or anything. I wish he was. He's actually super cool. But still, Thomas Flight makes a lot of very cool and fun videos. In one of his videos, he said that he stopped watching Star Wars because instead of them trying to fulfill a story and really push the world and characters forward, instead, what Star Wars was doing felt like a executive producer making something just purely for the money and for profit and to have something more in their content catalog instead of actually having a good story and art. And I understand that movies and shows are made to make money, but still, it has to be meaningful and have something that really makes me say this is actually cinema. Like the first Superman film, I think is great cinema and great American history and great American filmmaking, but not whatever this is. This is not at all that in any way, shape, or form, and it makes me sad to even say that. My final score for this film is definitely an F for right now. I gave it 2 out of 5. I don't really plan on going any higher. I don't want to watch this anymore, because I definitely was heartbroken by just how bad it really was. And, for many different reasons. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But the final score, it's an F. Deal with it. Let me know what your score was. Was it good? Was it bad? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. We have a little fan mail thing down there below. Also, we have, email. You can text me. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, you can do that also. But it's not over quite yet. Despite this film being very bad, I do have some things to give out, some awards to hand out before we decide to close out for today's episode. And it's going to be a couple of cool things here and there with our superlatives. So let's go ahead and get on into it.
You are a blowfish.
What? Lady, whatever you're selling, I ain't buying, yo.
Well, my name is Skylar White, yo.
I get a spot? Okay.
And if I sound like I'm rushing today, it's because 1, the film is bad, but 2, I'm also trying to cook dinner, so I don't know what I'm going to cook, but something. So I got to go to Publix in a second here. I got a little bit of grocery list in my movie notes too, so that's kind of weird. But going into our superlatives here, number 1, what is the superest moment in this movie? I think it is Superman vs. Superman. That's a super fun, psychological fight. Also, is it like Fight Club? I guess it is like Fight Club, kind of. So yeah, it's a cool moment. It's a cool scene in a bad movie. I'll take what I can get. The superest quote in this movie, my favorite quote is, it's hard to find in a bad screenplay, but still, here I go. I saw that I asked you to kill Superman, and you're telling me you couldn't even do that one simple thing. You can't kill the God amongst men, that one simple thing. I do like that quote. It's so funny how dumb it is, I guess, that it made me chuckle under my breath for a quick second. That's maybe the only laughter or smile I had in this movie, but it was a worthy kind of moment, I guess. Going on from there, we do have our Buzz in the Backlot. You may be asking yourself, Logan, what is Buzz in the Backlot? It's film fun facts. I do have 3 here today for a bad Superman 3 movie from 1983, but still, it's a fun little thing here. So for our first fun fact here, I do have that this is the first time Christopher Reeve has top billing in a Superman film. In Superman 1978, he was behind Marlon Brando and also Gene Hackman. And then Superman 2, 1980, he was behind Hackman in the billing, and now he's here the top role. Unfortunately, it's for this movie that's disgusting. Our second fun fact here is that when it was first revealed at producers that Lana Lang would be a single mother, a comic book was quickly written explaining how Lana became in that situation. I know these fun facts may sound boring, but I'm trying to make it a little bit fun here. So into our third and final fun fact, I do have that the writers of the film The Office Space, 1999, utilized in the storyline of taking a fraction of a penny from employees for their own gain, stating that they saw it work in the movie Superman 3. Art inspiring art. Have I seen The Office Space 1999? No, but I kind of want to now a little bit more. And for the MVP, our final award of the night, it goes to none other than Christopher Reeve. There's really no one else who I can possibly give it to. Richard Pryor, like I said, he maybe didn't deserve the hate at all, but, he did it for the check. I mean, we know that. It's okay. I mean, if you have 50 mil in front of you, 50 mil, hey, I'll do anything for 50 mil. So that's all I gotta say. But still, Superman 3 comes to an end here. And next episode, we're going to be going into Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, the last in this Reeve era. Unfortunately, that one is also bad. And unfortunately, it's ending with this era of Superman. He didn't deserve it at all because, Christopher Reeve might have been the best ever in those first 2 movies. And then it just went off a hill to these 2, which, it made me sad a lot. But I'm still going to go through them. Superman 4 will come out very, very soon. Then after that, we have Superman Returns, which I haven't seen in decades, actually. So I'm interested to see how that film may have changed for me at all. I don't know. We'll see. If you want to follow us, you can follow us anywhere you find podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the whole shebang. and also anywhere you find your socials, Instagram, Twitter, or X, I'm sorry. All of those places are on as well. And until next time, of course, stay swagged out, stay cool, watch Superman. No, you know what? No, don't watch that at all. Instead, watch Andor. Watch a good show or a good piece of media. Watch Andor. That's a really good show. Watch Andor, not Superman for now, until we get to some better ones. Then until then, stay swagged out, stay cool. I'll see you guys in the movie.